Now we are ready for the second experts discussion. The topic is AI for competitive advantage. In the last session, we discussed how AI can be used in the organizations at the back end, which includes supply chain, accounts and finance, operations, HR, etc. Now, our panel of experts is going to discuss how AI can be used in order to improve the front end, which is sales, marketing, and customer services primarily. Again, I would, for those who came late, I will repeat the format that we are using. It will be a 60 minutes, very specific, just 60 minutes discussion. And I'll just present two slides. One of them will be the repetition of the one which I made in the morning. I'll just give a background of exactly what the people are talking about and what is on the internet about this topic. 3 to 4 minutes. And then I would like to invite my experts and our moderator, Veqar Ul Islam Sahab, who is the CEO of Jaffa Brothers Systems, Jaffa Business Systems. And as it goes, Veqar Sahab, the moderator, will, on the same topic, request all the 5 experts to speak for 2 minutes, specifically for 2 minutes. And Veqar Sahab, we have to make sure we manage the time. So after they give their input, their opinion about the topic, then the floor will again be open for the questions and answers for the next 45 minutes. Slido.com, who has still not downloaded, who just came later. We take the questions through Slido.com. We have the event code. I'll repeat that after I invite all the experts, and then that's the procedure. Like the moderator take each and every of the question, and then he discusses with the panel of experts. So this is the format. Now my slides. Yeah, so this is the repeat of, for those who have came late, a small, generally what we know about AI on the internet. 35% of the organizations are using AI, enterprises, and another 42% are considering to use it. So like it's going to be implemented mostly in all the major organizations in the world. They will be using AI. The domains, there are 4 or 5 domains which encompass the whole AI system: deep learning, natural language processing, robotics and automation, and generative AI. So everything that's happening in the AI is one of those clusters. It falls into one of those clusters, as far as I know. Capabilities, it can actually automate repetitive process. For example, data entry, for example, maybe calls, similar questions from your customers. It does data analysis and identify patterns and give you information to make decisions. And of course, predictive analysis, which means that it can predict on the basis of data, like what is happening. Next is, how does AI help in business? Decision making, streamline integrated business functions. The normal applications that we hear about today, including AI, about AI, is ChatGPT, image generation, chat boxes, and virtual assistants. Particularly about this session, about the competitive advantage. These are the usual applications where organizations are using it. Chat boxes, virtual assistants, customer engagement, language translation, content generation, sales forecasting. Of course, a lot of data of sales is available, so it's comparatively easier using AI to forecast the sales in the future. Increasing customer lifetime value, that's marketing, such as predictive analysis and sentiments analysis. There are bots that can scroll through all the major social media platforms and find the information and give the sentiments analysis. Generate compelling copy, creating unique visuals, and personalizing customer intention, to write copies and then make sure that accordingly you do divert your the markets to your market segment, uh, align your product with with the right customer segmentation, segmenting email marketing lists, execute campaigns, and drive customer acquisition, provide insights into customer behavior, enabling personalized marketing and automation, um, automating routine tasks in email marketing and ad placements. Please bring the chairs. So this is what I understand about AI through very limited my understanding and research. But this should form the basis of what we are to proceed in the next session. I would like to request now Veqar Ul Islam sir to in the panels, the experts. Asif Shah, he is the CIO of CDC. Amin Manji. Amin Manji is Chief Technology Officer, Group Chief of National Bank of Pakistan. It's Manji, right?
Yes, that's correct.
I just wanted to make sure. Next is Nabigh. Nabigh Raza Alam is Head of IT, GSK. Iftikhar Arif, General Manager Information Technology and Ecommerce, Muller and Phipps. And in the last, Mr. Azam Mughal. Is Azam here? Do we have Azam Mughal who represents Pasha? Okay, so we'll continue with these panelists, right? With these experts. Over to you, Veqar sir.
Hello. Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. You heard the format, so I think my role is extremely limited here. It's more, of course, the esteemed panelists and also the audience. And the objective really is that we get as many engagement questions from the audience so that you get more clarity on the topic, you get an idea of how institutions are thinking about AI and how they intend to proceed further and maybe what state they are in. The good news with this panel is that you have representation from the capital market, from the financial industry, from the pharmaceutical industry to the distribution industry. So it's a pretty good coverage from getting an idea as to how people are thinking. Doesn't mean that they are there, but it will give you an idea as to how CIOs are taking this subject of artificial intelligence. For my side, I personally believe AI is the biggest disruption that is going to happen or is happening after internet came about. And it will touch everything, much bigger than what Kamran was speaking about in the beginning. Anything and everything. It will touch your normal life. It will touch the way you operate. It will touch the way you research. It will touch the way you shop. It will touch the way you do cash transactions. It will touch the way you approach health professionals. So more or less, it will disrupt everything. It will also disrupt the technology in ways one cannot imagine, because AI at the back end is dependent on huge amount of data that you could not have envisaged before AI to be catered for from a computational viewpoint. So that means the requirement for compute is going to go many fold up. ये जो आपकी processing power है वो इतनी ज़्यादा चाहिए आपको कि जो current आपका IT, a hardware infrastructure, that won't suffice. Storage requirements will change. The way cloud is being approached, the way on-prem and off-prem strategies being used, that will be disruptive. Your software will change. The way coders have lived their life is going to change, and consequently education industry will change, because अगर वो उसी तरह से पढ़ाते रहे जैसे कि अभी तक पढ़ाते आए हैं, तो आज का बच्चा जो यूनिवर्सिटीज में है वो आगे लेके नहीं जा पाएगा. So I think it is these kind of topics that we're going to talk about. So AI, as I said, as we move ahead, will have more and more influence in our lives. So I think as Asif has to leave hard, and he has a hard stop at 1. So the way we'll do it is that I'll go to each panelist, quick intro to the topic, 2 minutes, as Kamran is standing here just to make sure none of you cross 2 minutes, and my role will be to stop you. So 2 minutes intro on the subject. How, in your view, you are thinking of taking AI to make it a competitive advantage in your domain, right? Once we've done that, we are already getting in questions on Slido. So I'll, of course, summarize, and then I'll take questions and I'll refer them to each of the panels. So Asif, we start with you. Yeah.
Just a minute before we start. Those who came late, you can go to slido.com, and the event code is 466-7005. I was saying download, but somebody told me it's not download. It's perhaps online and it happens automatically. I'm from the older generation, not know much about IT. So it's 466-7005. This is the event code at slido.com. Is there anybody who still has not opened Slido? Please raise your hand. Somebody raised 2 hands. Is there still anybody? No? Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Asif. We start with you.
Assalamu alaikum. Ji, this is Syed Asif Shah from Central Depository Company of Pakistan Limited. As Kamran himself and Veqar Saab has introduced the AI, I think it's a very, very vast topic, and there are so many dimensions of it that I, in my very limited understanding, although we are sitting as experts here, but I am still learning it and each day getting new things about it. So from capital market perspective, the way CDC and the other institutions are taking it, we have 5 different aspects that we are trying to look into. Number 1, that has always been the aspect that we have looked into. Number 1 is the data analysis and the insights, because now we have the capacity to process more and more data. We can take advantage of that vast amount of processing that otherwise humanly was not possible. So there is a lot of new insights that one can pick from that analysis. So this is one area. And this area is the core foundation area. And then we have operational efficiency. This has been a forte of capital market back office institutions such as CDC or National Clearing or PSX and PMX to a greater extent, that we have been using automation throughout our back office processes to ensure that the large amount of transactions, the large amount of data that comes to us on a daily basis and that get interacted for our customers through 4 or 3 organizations and that get to the customer is made as efficient as possible. So this is one area where operational efficiency is concerned. The next area is risk management, very critical to us, very important. Pakistani capital market, like other capital markets in the world, have seen different ups and downs. And through our collective efforts of our regulator and the market participants, post 2008, we have tried our best that the systemic risk can be managed as best possible, as done through means of automation, and now increasingly looking towards AI as well. So this is one main core area. The next is customer experience. This is an area where perhaps capital market is not there right now, where the banks might be, where other colleagues might be, other industries might be. So we are looking into it. And the last, which is very important and still yet to be touched area, is the area of innovation through AI. Because now when we can predict trends, we can also predict what customer demands are there, what new things that can be addressed through AI. So this is my perspective about AI, a brief introduction.
Thank you, Asif. So you did hear about how AI is being taught, and as said, these are still early days. So expecting कि organizations पाकिस्तान में AI के सफ़र में बहुत आगे जा चुकी होंगी, ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन it gives you an idea as to how CIOs are thinking, from operations to risk management to capital market management to also how you create better front end. Also, AI is going to be very critical in innovation because it will open up your mind in ways like never before. So now from capital market, we move to the financial industry. And we have, of course, the CIO, Amin Manji from National Bank of Pakistan, which is the largest bank. So it would be good to get a perspective from Amin, from financial industry perspective, and how he sees AI to be used as a competitive advantage. Amin, over to you, 2 minutes.
Hello. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Amin Manji, National Bank, Head of IT. There are three specific areas that we are looking at, and we are at the very nascent stage of AI. And the part of AI that we are looking at is primarily in the generative AI. The areas are optimization of software or software that goes into building applications from the perspective of actually making code generation or development more efficient and limiting or identifying risks that we might be including in the code, and then code that comes out to be of a higher quality and consistency. There are issues, it's very early, but we're looking at that. The other part is, which was alluded to by my fellow panelist, is the hyper-personalization of the customer experience. However, that's easier said than done, because to do that effectively and in some way that makes a difference, we need to incorporate a myriad of sources, data sources, and that requires a data structure, a data architecture, which is also in its nascent stages. Because the touch points of customers go across social, mobile, call center, they put a tweet on Twitter, they might put something on Facebook, they might send an email, they might send a WhatsApp message. So to do this effectively, all those have to be incorporated. And for us, and the way I see it, is not a small task. It requires relooking at our data approach, our data strategy, our data architecture, and how these can be used effectively to actually achieve the objective that we are looking to do. So I'll leave it at that, and surely we'll have some questions, and we'll take it over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Amin. So again, areas, especially Amin touched upon a very important topic that I also spoke about earlier. We'll need to relook at everything that is being done in the past and how it will shape the future. आपके data models फर्क हो जाएंगे, आपकी data architecture, आपका पूरा जो IT architecture है, that is about to be disrupted, right? And how to go about the whole journey so that you become AI ready, because जब ये बनाया गया था internet समेत, वो AI के लिए नहीं बनाया गया था. And nobody thought that the data avalanche is going to reach a level where it has reached and where it will go many-fold up as we get into the AI. So many questions will be answered as we go into the future. But the good news is that CIOs, and you've already heard too, are already looking at making strategies, identifying areas they need to start looking from. Again, capital market to financial industry, we move to pharmaceutical. So we have Nabigh, who is the head of IT for GSK. So let's hear from Nabigh on the pharmaceutical side and AI.
Thank you, Veqar sir, for the opportunity. I think this is a great topic. I think I would say a transformative force, which is not only reshaping the industries, but probably are changing our mindsets and overall innovation mindsets, which we are doing, and changing the ways we are working. So I think at GSK, we since the name of AI came in, and overall we started working on multiple initiatives at that time. Few of them gone live as well. Few of them are in the production stages right now. But probably we picked up all the problem statements which were there, starting from our labs till the patients, the whole medicine journey, even before labs, the clinical trials as well, and drug candidates as well. So all those areas we were thinking how we can utilize this AI to ease our businesses and to probably fast-paced things. So uh, we did very simple thing at the start. There was one in-house built engine which was just for the policies. So all the company policies, etc., were put in that engine, and it was at that time GPT 3.5. We used those APIs with that, and it was simple for employees. Every employees were inserting their queries, and it was answering. It was not possible to read all the policies at once, so it was just extracting those things from there. And then I would say my favorite use cases were the customer personalization, because for us, one size does not fit all. So for the doctors, if we know that, okay, this doctor needs more information, this doctor needs something else, so it was humanly not possible earlier. So with the advantage of AI, we created the customer personas, that how maybe some doctor is at the high advocacy level, so he needs some probably different content. Some doctors who is very starting level of our product advocacy, so he might need some different content. So after building those customer personas, whenever they are contacting us through the chatbot or something, this AI is generating a personalized content for the doctors. So that was the human touch against the machine touch, obviously AI using, but in the end, for the doctors, it was a great human touch which gave us lots of advantage in that overall. And secondly, other than the personas thing, when we built the AI chatbot, first chatbot in GSK, so the consent is the biggest. I mean, the people who are sitting here in the pharma industry, they know that consent is the biggest problem statement for us on the digital side. Obviously, face-to-face people are going, our reps are going, but when we want to send SMS, WhatsApp, whatever, we need a consent. So this AI chatbot was there which was analyzing that, okay, the customer contacted us, within nanoseconds, it checks if this is consented or not, and it starts the consent chatbot. If the consent chatbot is complete, then it drives them to the main chatbot, etc. So I think there are multiple use cases and multiple advantages which we were trying to build in this. And I mean, this is my favorite topic, so I can speak a lot on this, but let's hear the questions as well, and we will cover.
This is outstanding, Nabigh, that you guys are already ahead in the curve and doing work on customer personas, on creating better user experience in the pharmaceutical industry, for doctors, for patients, for connecting customers. So great to hear. So we move to the distribution side. We have Iftikhar Arif from Muller and Phipps. So Iftikhar, your intro.
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन AI के स्टैट्स ये कहते हैं कि अगर आप पैनल के आखिर में बैठे हों तो कुछ कहने के लिए रहता नहीं है खैर वेल I've taken this question on a very different perspective. Once I was a chess player. I started playing chess in 1994. I hope you must have heard about the Deep Blue main server. There are a lot of IBM fellows are there. So in 1997, when the first computer defeated the world champion Garry Kasparov in the chess competition, when we say that's the starting point of the AI. And last time I heard that in 2005, the man won against the AI machine. So what is the take of this example? I always believe one thing, that AI comes from the data. If you have a data and the right source, AI को improve करने के लिए सबसे important चीज़ थी कि जी data कितना होगा और accurate data कितना होना चाहिए. when I relate this example to the distribution side, Pakistan is a supply chain country. And in our organization, when we joined Muller and Phipps as a distribution sector, at that time in 2006, the company size was over 5 billion rupees. And this year we are trying to cross 300 billion. So it's all about the data, because the credit goes to the data in every aspect in the distribution sector. We have done a lot in the distribution side. From the black frame AS400 machine, we started our journey, and now we are moving on the e-commerce side, and we are using the cloud mechanism. But on the back, the growth of the company is all related to the specific segmentation that is called the customer behavior and the data. So when we relate AI is not the new concept in Pakistan. The important thing is that we have to understand that अगर आप किसी दुकानदार से ये पूछें कि उसके पास कितनी इन्वेंट्री और उसने किस चीज़ पे इन्वेस्ट करना है, तो वो बगैर सिस्टम के आपको ये बता सकता है. द कॉन्सेप्ट इज देयर. द इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, जो चीज़ हमने रियलाइज़ की और जिस पैटर्न को हम करते हुए आज कंपनी की ग्रोथ को यहाँ पे लेकर आ गए, वो था राइट डेटा. तो विल टॉक अबाउट द मोर about the AI with respect to the data and the origin of the data. These are the two important things which we need to discuss later.
Thank you very much. So we've all heard the term data is the new oil, right? And it is, right? So AI में आपकी data quality, data structures will become that much more important. They've always been very, very important. But sadly हमने data quality वगैरह पे उस तरह से focus नहीं किया जैसा कि करना चाहिए था, लेकिन अब आपके पास गुंजाइश नहीं है. So I think with these intro, we move towards Q&A, and we are already getting question and answer. And I said, since Asif has to leave, so I'll go to him for the first question that I want to ask. And it's a question typically being asked from any tech professional. मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी 1985 में शुरू की थी कंप्यूटर इंडस्ट्री के साथ, जिसको अब टेक इंडस्ट्री या आईटी कहते हैं. तो जब मैं पहले कस्टमर मीटिंग में गया, जो कि एक बैंक था, और हम एक पेरोल एप्लीकेशन बेच रहे थे, तो उन्होंने मुझे लिटरली कमरे से निकाल दिया था कि यार तुम लोग हमारी नौकरियों के पीछे पड़ गए. तो ये सिलसिला आज भी जारी है. डरने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. एआई ज़्यादा नौकरियाँ क्रिएट करेगा, नई तरह की करेगा. मसला नौकरियों का नहीं है, मसला पुरानी तरह की नौकरियों का है. Those will go away. So, Asif, maybe I come to you.
Before we continue, I was told by someone that the speakers, the experts are not able to see the questions. So, request them to open Slido.com on their mobiles as well if they want to see the question, because behind your back. So I don't know, or maybe we can move it a little. Just a bit. Yeah. So just to facilitate this, then you can continue. Thank you.
Iftikhar, can you see it? Issue with the glasses or with the screen? Go ahead, Asif.
जी, वकार साहब, मेरा तो ख्याल है आपने सवाल में खुद ही आंसर भी दे दिया कि ज़ाहिर है असल इशू शायद किसी भी नए इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजी से पुराने जो थ्रेट है वो पुराने स्किल सेट को थ्रेट है, वो लोगों को थ्रेट नहीं है. वो आज हम अपनी लाइफ में भी देखते हैं. आपने खुद 1985 से जर्नी की बात की, हम आप शायद 10, 12, 15 साल आगे से आ रहे होंगे कि ये तो कंटिन्यूस एक एवोल्यूशन का प्रोसेस है. हम अगर अपने स्किल सेट को रिवाइव नहीं कर रखेंगे, उसको दोबारा से रिफ़्रेश नहीं करेंगे, तो हम ऑब्सोलीट होते चले जाएंगे. तो ये तो मेरा ख्याल है इंफॉर्मेशन सिक्योरिटी हो, एआई हो, आईटी हो, उसमें तो बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है. पहले किसी ज़माने में ऐसा लगता था कि आईटी आ गई है तो बहुत सारे लोगों की जॉब चली जाएगी, लेकिन ऐसा हुआ नहीं. आज तो पूरे मुल्क हमारे बराबर में नेबरिंग कंट्री है इंडिया, वो पूरा अच्छा खासा कंट्री आईटी के ऊपर ही खड़ा हुआ है. आईटी के ऊपर अपनी इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस लेके आगे चल रहा है, और उसी से लोगों की लाइफ्स बेहतर हो रही हैं. यही हम चीज़ पाकिस्तान में भी देख रहे हैं कि गवर्नमेंट, उसके मुख्तलिफ इदारे कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि आईटी को लेवरेज कर सकें लोगों के लिए. तो देयर इज़ अ ह्यूज अपॉर्चुनिटी. हमें ये आज एआई है, मैं दावे से कह सकता हूँ कि 5 साल बाद हम में से जो लोग यहाँ मौजूद होंगे, देयर वुड बी समथिंग न्यू विच वुड make it look like कि बस अब ये हो गया तो अब हम ख़त्म हो जाएंगे, लेकिन चीज़ें इसी तरह progress कर रही हैं as long as we are refreshed. मैं सिर्फ इस एग्जांपल में एक चीज़ ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि जैसे हम चले थे अपनी जर्नी में भी, हम ये आज जो AI की तरफ आ रहे हैं, काइंड ऑफ अनअटेंडेड ऑटोमेशन लेकर आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड भी इसमें बहुत सारी इनपुट आ रही है. वरना हम स्ट्रक्चर्ड इनपुट के साथ तो रोबोटिक प्रोसेस ऑटोमेशन काफ़ी लंबे अरसे से यूज़ करते हुए आ रहे हैं अपने इसी ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए. तो नाउ न्यू एलिमेंट्स आ रहे हैं जिसमें नया इनपुट आ रहा है और हमारे पुराने स्किल सेट भी उसमें ही रीयूज़ हो रहा है. So it's just a matter of refresh and keeping our minds open.
Actually, we have a lot of questions. So quick comment from Nabigh and Iftikhar. They
massive-
both want to add something very quick.
Right.
Because I want to
Massive
take as many
example-
questions as possible by 1:30,
मैं इस employment
where we
के
have a
ऊपर
hard
और
stop.
human
जी,
human
Nabigh,
touch
go ahead.
specific example देना चाहूँगा कि I mean AI के engines backend के ऊपर they are same, okay, but it's up to us, our curiosity, innovation, what we are inputting and what we want from it. For example, just before coming here yesterday, मैंने उनसे बोला कि give me a 5-minute speech on AI for competitive advantage. उसने मुझे एक speech दे दी. Then I thought कि अगर सबने ही सवाल बोला होगा तो सब एक ही speech बोल रहे होंगे यहाँ पे. So that is the AI तो आपको एक वो speech वहाँ से निकाल कर दे रहे हैं. But it's up to your curiosity कि आपने उसमें आगे क्या add करना है और कौन से models add करना है. फिर वो जाकर आप उसको train कर रहे हैं and they are working on it. So that's a simple answer that human touch and employment and things will always be there. It is probably a multiplier effect to the human efforts that is, I mean, applied once you use this component.
Thank you, Nabigh. Iftikhar, you had a point.
I just wanted to add one thing. I have given the example of chess. For me, the basic differential factor between the AI as a threat or a human is the creativity sense. चेस हम क्यों ये बात कहते हैं, क्योंकि एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू प्ले चेस देयर आर प्रोबेबिलिटी कि आप एक नया मूव कर सकते हैं. तो ये कुछ भी करके एआई ओवरकम नहीं कर सकता. ये एआई इज ऑलवेज बेस्ड ऑन योर डेटा एंड द पर्सपेक्टिव वे. तो क्रिएटिविटी फॉर मी इज़ अ बिगेस्ट एडवांटेज और ये शायद एआई के लिए थ्रेट हो.
Agreed.
Sorry.
Amin.
Yeah. So, alluding to the point about creativity. Sure. Certainly, AI, the generative AI, operates on the global internet of data and produces different information. It's not new. New in the sense it's presented differently, but it will not advance the knowledge frontier. It can't do R&D. It can't do research for a PhD. It'll write a speech for what you can say on the panel here, and if 5 of us ask the same question, it will actually give different answers because the model works differently every time and they're still trying to figure it out why. Forensically, you could do it, but it's not that straightforward. So in the area of creativity, so if you're looking at, let's say, one area is marketing. Let's leave the imagery aside. Videos and imagery will come to that. But if you look at the text, it is creating new text, new captions based on what it already has. So it's a different permutation or a combination of all the information that it has. It's not going to produce something novel or something that doesn't already exist. It will produce something of all the information that exists and put it together differently. But that's good enough for a lot of the work that we want to do. So that's just to address, certainly in the there will be impact in the social content generation and marketing areas. But for example, we say chatbot came, or chatbots will it'll affect call center jobs. Chatbots have been around for as far back as I can remember, and they're as useless today as they were when they first came in. But there are reasons for that, because if you let AI go crazy and give them a chatbot, it'll start telling the customers some things that you don't want the customers to hear, which actually may be what is to be said. So there are here and there. I am out whether this is going to be a transformative effect on job changes, etc. The internet came, 35 years ago? Yes, there was upheaval. Amazon came, bricks and mortar went, came, is there. So life continues. It creates a lot more jobs and opportunities than what it takes away. So that's my view on AI. Nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah, completely agreed. World Economic Forum says that the amount of jobs that will be lost, which will be lost, will be 2.5 times less than those that will be created. So there will be lot more jobs created because of AI and how it will evolve compared to the number of job losses. So the net gain is almost two times more. And that's what we need to understand. And this is what the technology phenomena generally has done. Not just the AI. AI will take it to the next level. But this is how technology has helped the world, and doesn't matter which country, in terms of scaling their economy and scaling the organization, and that trend is not going to stop. One question, and I'm trying to combine two questions which have come in. So one question which always comes about and being asked to any tech professional, does not matter whether it is about AI or something else, is the data privacy. So data को कैसे आप secure करेंगे? We are exposing everything, and AI exposes it in ways like never before. And the other is, and that's a challenge that many organizations face in Pakistan, is the accuracy of master data. And if it is not as accurate as you would like it to be, then what are the migration strategies or the mitigation strategy? So I want the panelists to talk about the data aspect, be it master data, be it data privacy, be it data accuracy, from their viewpoint. And because it is a very, very important topic, and also data quality, and how you think AI will affect it, and what can be done or what can be thought about to address some of those concerns. Amin, you want to go first?
Sure. So there's one question here specifically for me, and it says, how do I ensure data security of sensitive information? And my answer is very, very carefully. Because we are in a regulated industry, there's customer information, PII, there's regulated information, there's account information. So what we can do is limited in the public domain in terms of ChatGPT, etc. There are different ways to do it. But then the problem we encounter is that the data on which that model or the LLM is trained is very limited because it's only our data. So there are two things here. Then there's other ways to do it where you use public models that are not using the whole internet, because most of it is irrelevant to the specific context that we are looking at in terms of our industry. So there are other models that we can use. But to answer the question about data security and privacy, we are very, very careful about it, and that limits what we can do and how quickly we can do it.
Asif, you want to add anything to it?
Hello. Yes, I think I would agree to that. We made a perfect case for that, that we are all part of a very heavily regulated area, and anything that we put onto that, we would be very careful in our conduct.
Nabigh, you
So,
want to add?
so as we are solving so many problem statements with the use of AI, within AI, data privacy is always one of the problem statement. But I think ethical AI comes in where you have to protect your customer information, you have to protect your patient's information, or overall. So probably the layers worked in overall. So if I give you example of GSK, so we are not allowed to use GPT 4.0 engine, which is in the public, because probably when you are typing questions or you are asking something, you might be exposing some of the data outside. So we have our own engine, which is using the GPT 4.0 APIs at the backend, but there are layering at above that, which protects our information within GSK, and it gives you probably GSK perspective as well when you are writing there. So data privacy and ethical AI, we have done so many trainings inside GSK just not to use and expose our customer data, which is because this is a responsibility within us. So that is my point.
Iftikhar? And I also want panelists to briefly touch upon the master data accuracy question as well, because we are talking about data privacy, but I also want to address the master data.
From my perspective, the basic thing is that you have to classify your data first. Data classification in any organization is very, very important. For example, in our organization, we have classified data in two different parts. Number one is an organization level data and the personal data. So in Pakistan, unfortunately, we don't have a personal data policy right now, and that has been established so far. But it is very important to know that what kind of a data you are sharing through which medium. Being a distributor, we are very careful that we have to classify that what kind of information we are getting from the market. Whether it's a customer, a CNIC number, there is no need to ask the next of kin when you are opening a customer. But it is very important to know when you are adding or entering data in your HRMS database. So data classification is very, very important. That is my perspective.
Thank you very much. So if panelists can also, we touched upon data privacy and of course handling it with care and extreme caution and going into more details about it. But the other question relates to master data accuracy, and if there are concerns around it, what to do. What are the mitigation strategies given that AI is going to take over many of the functions? And if at all needed, what may be possible migration strategy? So master data concerns, mitigation strategies, migration strategies, if at all needed. I mean, you want to start? Sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure how to answer this because if we don't have accurate data, regardless of AI, you're going to end up making the wrong decisions. AI just takes that to a different level because we don't know what data it's using. Well, we know what data goes in, but how each attribute of a data influences what it's going to put out is not that clear, and definitely not clear at all for the end user as opposed to the creators of those models, who themselves having a difficult time to understand why AI puts out what it does given a certain prompt. So there's a clear risk with AI in terms of the output that it gives is significantly influenced by what goes into it. And one example is, this is in a public domain, if you look at ChatGPT, and you ask a certain questions, and the responses coming back reflect what is there on the internet as a whole world over from eternity till today, whatever the internet eternity is. And it has racial biases in its responses because that is what is sitting on the internet and that is what it has been trained on. So if there are inaccuracies in the data, I think that those will result in different issues on the output. But if there are systemic issues with the data where certain attributes are not captured, that could actually produce or affect decisions that are radically different, then you will pay the price for it. So the data has to be largely complete and largely accurate. But sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So there could be data sets out there that could be useful in the decisions and you just don't have them.
And I would come to other panelists, and I'll just like to add, so it's not just about data accuracy. Standardization of data is also very, very critical. That will come into play as we go into AI, although it has a lot more capabilities to analyze data captured in a different way. So as an example, एक ज़माने में पुरानी बात हो गई थोड़ी, हम एक बैंक के साथ काम कर रहे थे, तो आई चुंद्रीगढ़ रोड was written 21 different times. So if it is written 21 different types, then you can imagine how the search becomes a nightmare, right? So we got to work towards standardizing data as well. Nabigh, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, so I think, as I said initially, this is a problem. First of all, we don't need to shy out of it, but probably to protect overall in terms of your master data, as I said, that you need to have your private engines where your customers and vendors master data or any GL master data, etc., which can be protected there where you are doing. Secondly, I think in terms of transparency and cleansing purposes, where you build those accuracies out of it, that is the ongoing processes where you can leverage your AI engines to For example, seeing the duplicate invoices, if it is coming from the same customer or multiple customer, AI can do the cleansing on the ongoing. So from there, time to time, your databases will come to the accuracy level, certain accuracy level out of it. But that needs your, I mean, you cannot do this with your public, just like public cloud and private cloud concepts. So it's come as the public AI and private AI concepts as well.
Iftikhar, you want to add something?
Just to encapsulate on a lighter note, that is why AI is still called an artificial intelligence. It will take time to become an accurate intelligence. And I totally agree with your example that when we tried to implement our first sales and distribution system in Pakistan, it took us so long to understand the naming convention of towns. For the DG Khan, to the Dera Ghazi Khan, to the D.G Khan. So that's important. That is why the master data, the importance of master data become more dependent and reliable in any ERP, any systems. So I totally agree with you, sir, that the focus on the master data and the origin of the master data is very, very important.
Yeah. Asif, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think just the sum up of from all three gentlemen that its data accuracy is not a problem because of AI. It's already a problem, already there. And as my colleague rightly said, that AI can help in cleansing it, but the already available techniques, tactics must be utilized to ensure that what we are feeding in is the right thing.
Absolutely. So AI uses the existing data available out there, right? And then the Gen AI gives even recommendations on top of it, but it will not create its own data. It will still use the universe which is out there, but creating new universe will still remain with all of us. And that's where a lot of new things will come up. So there's a question specifically coming towards you, Amin, and there's one for Nabigh, but I'll come back to it, which says, Amin Saab mentioned they are focusing on Gen AI. How do you ensure data security of sensitive information? We covered it a bit, but I just want you to delve into it a bit more.
It's interesting. There was a question, I think, maybe from the earlier session about uploading vendor invoices for doing whatever they had to do. And the question was, well, once you've uploaded it to ChatGPT, it is ChatGPT. It's going to be there forever. You cannot get it out. So in terms of information that we put into public models, it is gone. Once you put it in, that has gone into its, rather than calling a database, into its data set, and that will be used forever by the time that model uses that data set. So it's there. In terms of protecting customer information and privacy of information, we are quite strict about what kind of information exits the bank, whether it be physically or whether it be digitally. Very, very strict. So that limits, as I said earlier, what we can do in this space and how quickly we can do it. And the reason being is setting up these I'm looking at generative AI only. Setting up these generative AI models in-house is a very expensive proposition in terms of hardware. It is a very expensive proposition in terms of training. And it is virtually impossible a proposition to train it on the wealth of data that public models do. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars training these things, and that's why it works so well for us. So we have to be careful, at least in banking, in my organization. We have to be and are very, very careful as to what and how we can do and how quickly we can do it. So we are limited, but there are certain things that we are looking at doing, and that's our objective.
Thank you, Amin. So there is also a question on any use cases in play, right? And so I'll go to each panelist and see that if we can get answers today, and that may or may not be true. And there is, of course, a specific question related to health industry, that what are the typical use cases which are at play today within the healthcare industry. लेकिन एक use case में जो पाकिस्तान में काफ़ी मैंने देखा है कि तेज़ी से अडेप्ट हो गया, उसका ज़रूर तस्करा करना चाहूँगा. And I'm doing it both in a lighter note, but as well as on a very serious note. So one of the use case that I've seen which is on display is that at least 30 to 40% of the emails that I receive now, be it internally or external email, they are written by ChatGPT. And you can tell when you read it, right, that it is not something. अच्छा, उसकी एक बहुत बड़ी वजह ये है कि हमारे यहाँ लोगों की communication skills इतनी advanced नहीं है. So they've got a perfect companion who can help them draft an email, which is fine, right? But remember, ChatGPT will draft an email based on the input that you provide. तो अगर आपने input में गड़बड़ की है तो response बहुत बुरा होगा. And you forwarding it without reading is not a good idea, right? So I would recommend whenever anyone, and coach it to other people as well, anyone is writing email or sending email based on ChatGPT or Gemini or Meta or whatever other tools available, please always read. Please make sure you are phrasing your questions correctly, because the meanings can dramatically change to what you meant when it gets to the person. So that's a use case which is, by the way, very prevalent. Many of us possibly have started using it. Use it with caution. And so it is with all other use cases. But let me go to the panelists and see if they have other input.
If I could add to that, this is a very important point. Don't blindly believe what any AI tells you. AI, let's say it's a generative AI model. It could be all nonsense. It could be all garbage. Some of the times when I use ChatGPT is to rephrase a paragraph or a sentence. So it's essentially just rephrasing what I have said, but it is what I wanted to say. So it's better English or flows better or whatever it might be. But when I ask ChatGPT for information that's new to me, I have to go and corroborate it separately through different channels. If you use the information coming out of a prompt from AI, that's not essentially a rewriting what you've done, a better rephrasing or a formatting. Just be careful that to make sure that this is actually correct, and you have requisite background information that through which you can verify the authenticity of what's it telling you, because it can tell you whatever it wants.
Absolutely, and Amin mentioned this point in his earlier intro as well. Don't believe anything that comes to you. It just feeds you and provides you with a starting point, but that's not the end point. End point फिर भी आपने बनाना. So please make sure that whatever you get out of it, especially now with WhatsApp embedding Meta in it, a lot of people have started using it, and they just believe everything that comes out of it is gospel truth. It's not, right? Because it uses what is out there. So Asif, you want to add something to it?
I think,
and then I come to Nabigh.
मैं सिर्फ एक दो इंटरेस्टिंग एग्जांपल्स जो अभी पिछले 5-6 महीनों में मैंने देखी हैं कि कुछ लोगों ने, जो एम्प्लॉइज़ ने अपने रेजिग्नेशन लेटर्स लिखे, तो वो पहले, अब जो जाते हैं कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से अच्छा रिश्ता भी रहे छोड़ के जाने के बाद, तो पहले तो 2-3 लाइंस लिख के चले जाते थे, लेकिन अब वो इतने एलोक्वेंट किस्म के रेजिग्नेशन लेटर्स लिख पा रहे हैं, तो मुझे बड़ी हैरानी हुई कि अगर ये पहले ऐसा कर लेते तो शायद उनका बेहतर ख्याल रखा जाता. लेकिन ये कि लोग ज़ाहिर है इसका फ़ायदा उठा रहे हैं. यूज़ केसेस से मुताल्लिक़ मैं सिर्फ एक चीज़ ऐड करना चाहूँगा. वी जस्ट स्टार्टेड टू लुक इनटू द फैक्ट कि कुछ पिछले 10 साल को अभी हमने लिया है कि एरिया कि इसमें कुछ वेल नोन नॉन कंप्लायंस के इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं कैपिटल मार्केट में, जो कि पब्लिक इंफॉर्मेशन में भी आ गए हैं. तो अभी हम सिर्फ अपने रिस्क डिपार्टमेंट और इसी तरह कंप्लायंस के साथ ये देख रहे हैं कि क्या इस तरह की इंफॉर्मेशन जो ऑलरेडी पब्लिक डोमेन में है, इसको अगर री यूज़ किया जाए और देखा जाए कि क्या इनका किसी हद तक प्रेडिक्शन पॉसिबल थी, क्या किसी हद तक इनका कोई ट्रेंड एनालिसिस पॉसिबल था. तो वी आर जस्ट आइडेंटिफाइंग, वी आर नॉट श्योर कि ये कितना सक्सेसफुल हो पाएगा, क्योंकि उसके पीछे काफ़ी स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा भी होता है. आज यकीनन कुछ स्ट्रक्चर्ड डेटा मिस हुआ था कंप्लायंस में, तभी ऐसी चीज़ें हो जाती हैं. We are trying to look into that. That is one use case we are looking into.
Brilliant. Nabigh, you also spoke about earlier about actual use cases, but would be good to go a bit into detail as to how healthcare industry, and if you can relate it to, so that everyone can understand, अच्छा मेरी ज़िंदगी को क्या फ़र्क पड़ेगा. So that will be good. Because you have specific use cases that you want to talk about, so if you can elaborate that a bit.
Yeah. So as I said, there are multiple use cases, but in healthcare, if I talk about, I mean, because that is a sensitive area where patients are involved. we have three important segments, which is patients, the caregiver of the patients, and the HCPs, which is the healthcare professionals. So earlier, probably when we were using the doing the campaigns, for example, sending the emails or SMS or whatever, it was not going to be the personal touch for them. So for example, maybe one patient is on a very severe stage, one patient is might be on a very early stage, so there's no differentiation between the two. You are sending the same content to them, and there was no user journey which you can probably attract from the behaviors of that. So one of the use case which we implemented is the user journeys from patient. For example, when we are sending a content, then when patient is, for example, we send the WhatsApp message, the response which is coming from the reading perspective, or if we are attaching a dialogue chat bot against it, if they are clicking on some button and we are getting this thing, so we are attaching that to the another channel instead of probably applying our own channels on them. Mobile application install kar lo. These are the normal ways which we were doing and doing practices. So I always say the mantra: we need to be there where our customers are. If they are walking in the morning, we need to walk in the morning with them and tell our messages with them. So we cannot enforce that, okay, this is our application, install karo, isi ko use karo, isi ko. So I mean, if they are already on the channel of WhatsApp, billions of users are there, we need to be present there and we need to address their concerns. So this AI is helping us in terms of personalization. So when I am Nabigh, I am having hi to GSK, AI can detect, okay, this is the customer persona which we already have with the customer ID, etc. And my rep yesterday goes to this doctor with this message. And also, one of the marketing guys sends this emails to them. He reads that. So I know this is the information which he already have. So I'll not start with the scratch of that information. I'll continue with that, and it will give them the personalization touch that, okay, this company knows me, and this is how we are working on this. So I think these are the example and with the patients, this exact example is very important, that probably what are the medicines they are taking right now and what are the needs for them, and if they want to go to the HCPs, what are the exact symptoms and areas which they need to contact in. So I think these are the few use cases.
Brilliant. Thank you. Iftikhar, I'll come back to you on this point, and we have 5-7 minutes, so we need to do a wrap up as well. Asif has to leave. As I said, he has a hard stop and another meeting to go to. Asif, thank you so very much for your contribution. Really appreciate you being here. A round of applause for Asif. Thank you so much.
All the best.
Okay, so it's an interesting question that I got, and I said view. So which one is critical? So Iftikhar,
Yes,
before we go to that,
there are a number of examples with respect to the distribution, because the distribution is directly linked with the data. But I would like to give you two basic examples, जिसमें हमने AI को बहुत ज़्यादा use किया है in our organization. The first one, when while our order bookers is going to the market and taking the orders. Right now we are carrying around 1,200 products, approx 4,000 substitutes in terms of different potencies. So it is very difficult for a person who convince a customer कि यार आज ये खरीद लो, ये छोड़ दो. So we design an algorithm based on the data that gives a customer कि यार आपके एरिया में ये products बिकती हैं, इसके ऊपर इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहिए. तो बेस्ड ऑन द हिस्टोरिकल डेटा वी गिव अश्योरेंस कि यार ये कैश आपका फंसेगा नहीं, इस जगह पे आप इन्वेस्ट करोगे. दिस आर द फास्ट मूविंग प्रोडक्ट्स. सो विद द हेल्प ऑफ दिस, द फार्मा जो डिवीजन है हमारा, राइट नाउ वी आर कैप्चरिंग 22% ऑफ द मार्केट शेयर. दैट मीन्स इज अप्रॉक्स 45% ऑफ द शेल्फ वैल्यू ऑफ एनी केमिस्ट इन पाकिस्तान. तो एक चीज़ तो ये थी कि अगर आप बिजनेस ग्रो करते हैं, दैट मीन्स दैट विल रिक्वायर एन एडिशनल हैंड्स. विद द हेल्प ऑफ द AI सपोर्ट, वी डिज़ाइन एन एल्गोरिथम जहाँ पे हमने अपनी प्रोडक्टिविटी को डबल किया है बेस्ड ऑन द एनालिसिस कि यार कस्टमर के पास कितना टाइम स्पेंड करके आप क्या उसकी थ्रूपुट जनरेट कर सकते हैं. तो दिस इज़ द वन एडेड एडवांटेज. Second thing, we have designed a patient support program. We've already touched a lot about the patient privacy and patient data. The USP of this product is that we have analyzed the patient's journey कि कौन सी product इस patient के लिए होती है. These are the specialized products. there are two differential factors in Pakistan. When we say the healthcare, unfortunately पाकिस्तान के अंदर prescriptions इतनी ज़्यादा imposed नहीं है, तो पाकिस्तान में हर बंदा हर मेडिसिन बगैर प्रिस्क्रिप्शन के दुकान पे ले लेता है. बट स्टिल देयर इज़ अ रूम कि वहाँ पे स्पेशलाइज्ड प्रोडक्ट्स, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द डायबिटिक्स, द कैंसर प्रोडक्ट्स और सम स्पेशलाइज्ड एरियाज, वहाँ पे आपको यू हैव टू फॉलो द रूल्स. तो वी हैव डिज़ाइन इन दिस परस्पेक्टिव कि हमने पेशेंट्स की जर्नी को विद रिस्पेक्ट टू देयर डेटा, प्रोवाइडेड डेटा, क्योंकि पेशेंट सपोर्ट प्रोग्राम होता है, और उनके डॉक्टर के साथ अलाइनमेंट जो है वो की है. तो इस एल्गोरिथम में ये पता चलता है कि एक पेशेंट की नेक्स्ट डोजेज कब होगी, उसकी कंडीशंस क्या है, क्या उसको ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है नहीं पड़ सकती, और देयर इज़ एन ऑल्टरनेट अवेलेबल कि अगर वो नहीं मिलती तो क्या कर सकता है. एंड जस्ट टू गिव यू दिस कॉन्फिडेंस, इन पाकिस्तान last year with the help of this patient support program we crossed 2 billion rupees, and alhamdulillah with the by 4 months, abhi चौथा महीना complete नहीं हुआ है, we have onboarded 30,000 patients and crossed 1 billion already. So this is the excellent advantage of AI by using in the healthcare sector.
So suddenly we've started getting a lot of questions, so I don't think we'll be able to take all of them, but I want to take two. One is a very pointed question towards Amin, but graciously he wants to answer it. And the question is कि AI का ज़माना है, tech का ज़माना है, आप इतना time क्यों लगाते हैं account खोलने में? But I would also like you to, because this is not just specific to National Bank, but this is a complaint that customers normally have from bank, that they are slow. So if you can do a generic answer and also address the National Bank specific question as well.
Sure. So the question is, why does National Bank take several months to open an account in this AI-driven era? Yeah. AI-driven era is here, but it's not quite here. So there's no AI going on right now in account opening. I have a problem opening a bank account anywhere in the world. It is a nightmare. And it's not only in Pakistan. Pakistan may be a little more of a nightmare because there's a lot of paperwork involved. We don't have the information centralized digitally, etc. But it is a nightmare. And once you have a bank account already open that you've had for years, you have to keep justifying it as to why you want to keep it open. So just bring some realism to this. This is all over the world. However, I don't think it's acceptable for a bank account to open should take 4 or 5 months. Now, I can't comment on this specific situation or this the details of this event. However, if it's already been opened, then sorry and good. If it hasn't, feel free to message me and I'll see what I can do. But that's again dealing with something transactionally. It's not a systemic solution. But that's all I can offer. Just one more thing is about the requirements for opening bank accounts. It depends what kind of accounts. Is it a individual account, corporate account, some other kinds of accounts? And the requirements, the regulatory requirements on those are quite stringent. So banks are very, very cautious as to completing that process and making sure it's done properly. Because if it's not done properly, the customer is not going to be held accountable. It's the bank that's going to be held accountable. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And again, just on opening of bank account, I mean, there are a lot of regulations which have come in across the globe, by the way. Pakistan is not specific with the FATF requirements, which banks need to fulfill. Can they become more efficient? And if sure, they can, as Amin mentioned. But nonetheless, those requirements are still there, and it is a pain to open a bank account anywhere in the world. So we just need to be aware of them. So I want to take one last question, and on that note, I would also, so I want the answer from all three panelists, but I would also like to give with answer your concluding comments so we can conclude the session. So the question is, which one is better, brain intelligence or artificial intelligence? No, it is brain intelligence. I know it, right? I mean, business intelligence, we know, right? Because AI builds up on it. So it's talking about human intelligence, if you like, or brain intelligence versus artificial intelligence. G. Business intelligence. Okay. So the question is business intelligence, or it is about business intelligence. But since this question has been asked from me previously as well, so I would just like to add business intelligence, brain intelligence. versus artificial intelligence. I mean, you want to go first? And then to your concluding comments.
Concluding, sure. I don't think there's any competition today between brain intelligence and artificial intelligence. I'll take brain intelligence any day. In my sleep, I will take it. There is no competition. AI and I'm looking at the generative AI and a couple of others, is just a tool. When advances start to be made in general intelligence, that'll be the time to be concerned or to be interested, and that is when things can really happen. This is artificial intelligence. It is, from my perspective, and maybe I've misunderstood it, it is glorifying mass scaling, hyper granularity in relation to when you ask it something. For example, we had Deep Blue that beat the world chess champion after 2 or 3 tries. Great. What happened after that? Nothing. So it beat someone in chess. Fantastic. Then we had Watson doing medical analysis and doctor referrals, etc., etc. Fantastic. A lot of implementation in different areas. But the fact that it could do that didn't replace doctors, and they're not going to replace doctors anytime soon. So in terms of intelligence, brain intelligence, human intelligence, people anytime. It is going to take over regular tasks, etc., where there is no, or where there's less or no value added in terms of applying our intelligence, which is the only competency that I think humanity has. So that's one. In terms of closing, AI is not a silver bullet. AI is not going to, in terms of small businesses, there was a question there, AI is not going to put you out of business. In fact, AI gives you a tool, if used opportunistically or applicable in your business, you can take on the big guys. That's why startups are all about today. If it was the case that the big guys always won, we would not have startups. The startups are the ones that became Facebook. They are the ones that became Amazon. So there's a lot of opportunity there. My last is, be careful about using AI. Certainly play with it, all that. When you start using it to execute decisions, make decisions, and then implement and execute those decisions, make sure that you've done your due diligence depending on AI. But it's there, it's to be used, it's like anything else.
Thank you, Amin. Great summary. Nabigh?
So
again, BI,
Yeah.
and you can add business intelligence, brain intelligence versus
Yeah.
AI, and your concluding comments.
Yeah, as Amin said, there's no competition between the two, but I would say they are dependent on each other. So for efficient use of AI, you need to be top on your BI strategy, because first your BI strategy is there. You are modeling your data, you are overall streamlining your things inside, and then probably when you will feed this into the AI model, then you will get the right results. But if your data structure, data is the king, it is always fueling the AI thing. So if your BI strategy is not good, if your data is not structured, probably you will not be getting the right benefit from AI. So it's up to your curiosity and things, probably where how you are doing your data strategy and data standardizations things, and then probably going to the AI to get the right result. So it works interchangeably.
Your concluding
And
comments?
On my concluding remarks, I think AI is, I mean, it is, previously it was a buzzword probably, but now it is up to you on the, what are the right problem statements which you have, which you want AI to solve into. Not necessarily all your problem statement might be towards the AI. It can be a simple RPA solution. It can be simple automation as well. But do you have the right problem statements that you want AI to answer to your things on the simplification or solution perspective? So if you have enough creativity to that you want AI to solve, then probably you will utilize it better and to up to the mark. So looking forward to those exciting cases from the industry and how we leverage AI towards each different segments of business.
Thank you. Iftikhar, BI
Right.
versus
Let
AI,
me,
and your concluding comment.
Make it very simple. See, the brain intelligence, if you need a creativity innovation, then you have to go with the brain intelligence. when you talk about the speed retrieval of data, there is a tool available that is called an AI. So both have different advantages. It depends upon you that how you can utilize whether it's a brain intelligence or the artificial intelligence. These are totally dependent on each other. So for me, both have a different advantages. If you want to see a creativity, innovation, new ideas, you have to use your brain. And if you are heavily dependent on the data results, then you have to adopt an AI things. Sir,
Concluding comments? Concluding
right.
comments? Concluding comments.
Usually I have a habit to conclude my remarks ek aakhri sher pad ke, but this is not the right forum. So I have composed a few lines. Sir, it's an AI. तो गालिब और इकबाल के ज़माने में AI होता नहीं था. So I just tried to compose few lines, and पसंद आए तो तालियां बजा दीजिएगा, वरना that will be my last effort. Competitive insights, a ballad of the wise, whispers of wisdom from worldly spies. In the marketplace theater, it takes the stage, a bar of strategy with wisdom to engage. That is mine.
Well done. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So, to kill the debate on BI or brain intelligence versus artificial intelligence, look, artificial intelligence is created by brain intelligence. So that should say it all. And then AI typically builds on top of BI, right? So, so it's not either or, which one is better, which one is worse. AI is just the next level and taking the data that is available towards building use cases which can help all of us to go forward in life. And there, like with anything else, there will be cons as well associated with it. Many of it we are seeing, and we discuss them, and many of them will come about. But rest assured that as the world has moved ahead, AI will move ahead as well. And as we go into the future, you will see more and more robust use cases coming up. We are already, and we discussed about ChatGPT and email phenomena, but many others. And this Meta being embedded into WhatsApp is going to change many things, and you will see that evolving as well. So great discussion, great panel, lots of amazing questions. Thank you so very much for being a great audience. Thank you so much for the panelists. For great insight. Hope it was beneficial for you. Happy to answer questions as we come off stage, and look forward to seeing the development. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Kamran, for having me.
Thank you. I would request the respected experts and the moderator to join the floor again. And before we break for lunch, it's going to be a small plaque distribution for those who participated in this show. But so this is the flow of the plaque distribution. First of all, I will invite Hamad bin Nasir. Hamad bin Nasir, and also Junaid Syed. Hamad bin Nasir and Junaid Syed. First of all, they will receive the plaques, and then we have from computer research, I don't know, it will be Khalid Saab or Shamsi or Samir, whoever from the... Samir, are you coming? And after computer research, we will be giving plaques to Veqar Saab, and Asif has left, so Amin, Manji, and then Nabigh, and then Iftikhar. So this is going to be the order. So let's start with Hamad bin Nasir. We also have one plaque for Centrum, and I believe we have a foreign guest here who would I would like to invite to receive the plaque, please. Before we break for lunch, I have a small request, please, if I can make. Most of the times I've seen that the attendance thins out right after lunch. It's just 1 hour session after that. No more speeches, just 60 minutes of panel discussion like that on cybersecurity threats. So I would just request all of you to, after the lunch, which is only going to be like 30 minutes, so please come back here and join us for the last session. And I promise we will be all off by 3:15. It's a request. Thank you so much. Please proceed for lunch. Thank you.